guys, it's Kat, and we're here with Baron to talk about BDSM.
Hi!
So what is BDSM?
BDSM is a complicated acronym that stands for Bondage and Discipline, Domination and Submission, Sadism and Masochism. So it encompasses a whole wide variety of different fetishes and kinks and different things that people do, everything from hold me down or spank me all the way up to hang me by hooks from the ceiling and spin me around. BDSM is a subset of paraphilias, which are alternate sexual practices. They're things that aren't necessarily associated with sex directly. They're things that go outside of that but still have a sexual or some form of excitement for them.
So are you saying that BDSM isn't necessarily about sex?
BDSM can and often is a sexual practice, but in a lot of ways it's also not. I often liken it to things like going to the gym. Some people go to the gym to get a hot rockin' body for the beach. Some people go to the gym because they need a stress relief. Some people go to the gym because it's a spiritual practice. And some people just go to the gym because we want to post gym selfies on Instagram, right? I have some partners where we have no sex, but we have only kinky play. And we call it play. And that's a very important thing. It is play. It's a form of self-expression that is meant to bring enjoyment and pleasure, but also help explore and express things that we can't do in normal ways. Just like when you were little, if you had dolls or if you had trucks and you ran around and crashed your truck, so you pretended to be a fire person or you wanted to play construction or something like that with Lincoln Logs. You were mimicking or taking on something in the outside world and kind of containing it in a controlled environment. So that's when we call it play, that's what we're doing.
So what is dominant and submissive?
So dominant and submissive is the most traditional kind of relationship style in a sense. The dominant person typically is a person who provides a sense of protection, guidance, coverage, focus, and drive within the relationship, whereas a submissive party is a person who kind of handles a lot more of they're a lot more of the engine, the motor. They keep things moving forward, acts of service, acts of contrition, acts of subservience. So it can take the form of everything from control. So control over wardrobe is a big popular one. Control over sexual pleasure, orgasm, or masturbatory control is very popular in the community. And that could be a widespread day-to-day thing. So every day it's a matter of I get to say what you wear every day, or it could be something where it's just one time. We're going to a dungeon, you put on that dress and you're gonna look great, right? Typically what happens is you have an interchange of power between the two. It's called power exchange. It's power exchange.
And that's kind of what BDSM is about.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. Yeah, and there's levels. There's light power exchange all the way up to total power exchanges. Like we talked about master and slave, where the other person says, "I don't want to have any control or agency over my life. I want you to."
So you've mentioned master and slave. Are there people where they live their entire life that way? You've mentioned there's things people do for play, but are there people that's how they live? Period. Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Definitely, yeah. Just like there are people who go to the gym once a week, and there are people who are CrossFit, devotees. Everybody has a little bit of a different thing. But yeah, some people live in 24/7 relationships. They're called lifestyle relationships, where it's a part of their everyday operation. And it may be as simple as every day when you wake up, you kneel at your master or mistress's feet and they say some form of devotion to you, or you may be practicing there's positions you can be in and all sorts of little disciplines throughout. Or it can be, you are just a normal everyday couple, and then Friday night you go out and beat the living daylights out of each other and tie each other up and then come home and have great sex and then go back. Sunday morning you're at brunch with your friends again. That can be very healthy and beautiful, or deeply unhealthy and ugly, right? And it depends on how it plays out. There's dominant women. There's a lot of dominant women out there. Wonderful, talented, skilled, amazing women who have these relationships. And
so women can be dominant too. It's not a gendered thing where women are submissive, men are dominant. It's not always that.
No, it's not.
Is everyone solidly dominant or submissive? Is that do you have to pick one?
Yeah. So some people will tell you that. It's the same thing as being bisexual. They're like, oh, you just haven't found it out.
Yeah.
I'm more of a switch than anything else.
Okay.
I identify as kinkster, which means that I enjoy a wide variety of kinky activities. Oftentimes that means I'm on top. Sometimes it means I'm on bottom. We also have top-bottom power dynamics, just like a lot of other communities do. For us, the top is the one who gives the thing, and the bottom is the one who takes it.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to be one thing. You can be whatever makes sense to you. I know people who are deeply submissive, so in their relationship dynamics, they're always service-oriented. They're very driven around pleasing the other person. They're very driven around, they love being told what to do, but they're also really sadistic. So when it comes down to it, they might not enjoy being in charge and giving commands, but giving someone pain, that level of power exchange they might enjoy. So everyone has a little bit of a different thing. Your experience is up to you. And oftentimes as people grow, they actually move along and change their role. So you might start as a sub because it's easy, or as a bottom, super easy to get everything, and all you have to do is just process it. But then as you get more comfortable, you might say, oh, I want to switch, or I want to top.
Yeah.
Or go the other direction. I started out very dominant, and then as became more comfortable in my sexuality, I was like, all right, maybe you stick it in me this time.
If you are bottoming for someone, does that mean that they are your dom? Like, how does that work? Like, is there a difference between being someone's submissive or being like just a bottom?
Yeah, there can be a big difference. You are submissive to the person you choose to be submissive to. And there's a lot of talk of like, once you submit, can you go back? And it's like, yeah, you're a human being. You still have autonomy and agency. You can change your mind. Like, that is that is a core, that is an underpinning current of what we do. Sexual freedom is about recognizing personal agency. You don't have to be the person submissive. You don't have to submit to bottom, right? You don't have to submit to get spanked or tied up. We talk a lot about how the bottom has power because the bottom can say no, the bottom can stop the scene, the bottom can safe word.
Really? So even though the bottom is in a submissive position, they still have some degree of power, I guess, over the dominant person?
Well, because the idea of submission comes from the word submit, which is a verb, an action word. So to submit is to take an action of submitting, right? Because there's submit, and then there's like forced subservience. Right? This is not enforced slavery. We don't have somebody putting a boot to our necks and telling us to do it. It is an active choice we make. And so by making that active choice, you have every right to withdraw that active choice. If you're in a situation or a scene and you're not feeling submissive towards the person, but you're liking what they're doing, they're skilled and they are capable, then no, you're not a submissive. You're just enjoying an experience. And it's okay to be a bottom or a submissive and to have things that are focused on you.